I don't know if I ever told you guys this, but earlier this year, Tiger King really messed me up. I took all of my flower crowns, which was probably about 20, and quietly tucked them away, put away the cat ear hats. My personal style is indeed closest to Carol Baskin's. What was I supposed to do? Welcome back to the rabbit hole. Today's video is going to be a much more laid back video, the final video in the skincare technique series. Basically what happened is along the way, you guys left some really good questions that I feel do deserve answers, so I'm gonna be answering them today. Now, the number one question that I received was about the topic of pilling. If you don't know what pilling is, that's when your skincare products start to kind of ball up on your skin. It won't happen after whatever you initially apply. It's something that happens the more you apply in terms of layers. I feel like in order to answer the question, how do we stop this from happening, we have to first discuss what is going on that causes pilling. There are certain ingredients in your skincare products or your makeup products that contribute to this pilling situation happening. And one of the most commonly discussed ingredients is silicone, specifically dimethicone. Silicones have a wonderful purpose in both skincare and makeup products, and that is that they create a barrier very effectively on the skin. However, if you are creating a barrier with these silicone products and then you are adding an additional layer on top of that, that's when you can start running into problems. You know, you can only create so many barriers on your skin. And a couple more very important factors in what's going on here. It depends on how much of your product you're applying. It depends on where you're layering that in your routine and also how long you are waiting between steps. In a perfectly ideal world of skincare application, what you're doing is you're starting with your thinnest products and you're working your way to the more heavy products, taking some time in between each step so that that layer can absorb into your skin. And I feel like it's a bit intuitive to say that that barrier on your skin should also be the very last step in your skincare. This is the main reason why I've said in so many videos that I don't like serums that are high in dimethicone. It's not because I have a problem with dimethicone, it's because I have a problem with putting that barrier so early in my routine. And one of the biggest reasons why is because, whoa, is that ever how I see pilling on my own skin. Now, for me personally, The Ordinary is one of my absolute favorite brands, but they are also truly one of the biggest offenders for pilling. And I want to make sure that I explain why this is. The idea behind the brand The Ordinary is for each of the products to have a very focused purpose centered around one or two or maybe three ingredients, but not really much more than that. So the idea is you select the ingredients that you're interested in, you purchase them individually as products, and you layer them on your skin to get the desired results. But the problem here is that you have to make sure you're using the right amount of product so that it absorbs into your skin rather than collecting as excess that your skin cannot absorb. And also, again, you have to make sure you are waiting in between steps. I have said it before, and I will absolutely say it again. This is fine for a lot of people, especially if you have plenty of time in the mornings. You know, take an hour to do your skincare routine. You will probably see better results and you will see less pilling. But you know, there are a lot of people who are like, an hour for a skincare routine? Excuse me, come again? No. And that is absolutely why I think that for those people, purchasing a multi-purpose serum makes a world more sense. I'm going to give you guys some examples of how I use products that contain silicones and don't contain silicones. Let's start with a high in silicones product. This is the Peter Thomas Roth Hungarian Thermal Water Moisturizer that I don't know how I haven't found the time to haul yet. I bought this in the Ulta clearance event and I kind of love it. It is high in silicone and it creates a wonderful barrier on my skin. So what I've been doing all this time that I've had this is using it as my final step in my nighttime skincare routine. What a perfect time to use a high silicone moisturizer. I'm protecting my skin overnight. I'm not putting any makeup or anything else on top of it. It's perfect. And just for funsies, how about I tell you about a recent terrible mistake that I made? So if you guys saw my Instagram, we went camping last week. We were trying to figure out a vacation where we would be away from people, and yeah, it worked out great. But the thing about camping or any kind of travel is, you select a small amount of products to bring with you. You don't bring everything. And I am currently doing a trial, so I wanted to make sure I bring those products, which coincidentally includes a serum that has dimethicone as the second ingredient. My wise self also brought the Ghost Democracy sunscreen because I've been loving it. I thought it would be perfect. Well, I put my serum on, I put my moisturizer on, and then I put my sunscreen on, and I just started laughing. I turned to Ara, and she's like, "What did you do to your face?" It was covered in little balls. Freezing? Because even though this sunscreen is completely free of silicones, by using a silicone-containing serum earlier in my routine, I set myself up for some massive failure. I had to ditch the serum. Thankfully, I had brought a little tiny bottle of Tarte's Marula oil. I had it and I was like, I don't think I want to travel without oil, so I threw it in there. Good thing, because that's what I had to use for serum, in place of serum, really. So hopefully that's helpful. I feel like it's kind of a difficult question because without looking at not just your routine, but the ingredients of every single product in your routine, it's hard to say, oh, this is exactly what's going on, but that is what I'd watch out for. Make sure that your products are absorbing, make sure that you are layering wisely, and make sure you have enough time in between steps if you are using a more complex routine. I want to make the second question one that was kind of related to the first. I've had a lot of people ask me, should I be using all products from one brand? And there's arguments for and against this. Every brand in existence, as well as every sales associate for that brand, is going to tell you, yeah, absolutely, our products are made to work together. But at the same time, that could actually set you up for too much of the same ingredients. Here's a good example of what I mean by that. So this is the Pixi Clarity collection, everything but the cleanser. I couldn't resist this collection. Absolutely had to try Pixi's fragrance-free line. However, in actually using these, what I've discovered is I don't need to be using a salicylic toner and a salicylic serum together. What's the point of that? But the Clarity moisturizer actually does complement either one of these. So if I'm choosing to use these on a certain day, what I'll do is I'll pair the toner with a different serum and then use the moisturizer, or I'll use a different toner than the serum than the moisturizer. And again, the reason for this is because all of these different ingredients that we talk about in the skincare world all have different benefits to them. That's why we use them. However, repeating those ingredients over and over again in your routine doesn't mean that you're getting more from that ingredient. But again, there is an argument for doing this, for sticking with a certain brand and a certain line within the brand, and that would be that brand has most likely done a lot of testing to make sure those products complement each other, especially in terms of preventing that pilling situation. Next question is where to use active ingredients in your skincare. So when it comes to active ingredients, you want these ingredients to be able to do what they're supposed to do. And this is going to depend on the specific ingredient, but some of them act on receptors, some of them need to convert in your skin. So what you don't want is for those ingredients to run into obstacles along the way from other ingredients that you've applied to your skin. This is why you'll see a lot of people say, make sure your active ingredients are applied as closely to your skin as possible. But there's a problem with just making a blanket statement of, okay, so put it in a toner or put it in a serum. And that is, again, that everybody has a different skincare routine. So if you're somebody with a very simple routine, having active ingredients in your moisturizers may be sufficient. You didn't apply a lot of products before that, so there's not a lot of potential interference. But if you are somebody with a more complicated routine, I would absolutely put them closer to your skin. And this, for some people, could be your cleanser. For other people, it could be your toner. And finally, your serum, which is where I prefer mine in toner and serum. And my final question for this video, how do you know if a skincare product is working for you? Yet again, there's not really an easy answer for this, but I will tell you a little bit about why I've chosen a 2-week model. We talked about the importance of patch testing, but all patch testing tells you is if you're going to have an immediate reaction to a product. By trialing a product for 2 weeks, you'll see if you're going to have a more latent reaction or if the product is beginning to work for you. What I've noticed after almost 4 years of doing this is that it's about day 10 to 12 where I start to see any kind of reaction if I'm going to see one, and also where I start to see any kind of results. Now, there's no magic that happens on day 14. Instead, it's that I'm seeing the changes that are going on with my skin. But realistically, when we're talking about bringing in a new ingredient such as retinol, if you've never used retinol before, you are not going to see results in 10, 14, 16 days. It's probably going to be closer to 6 to 8 weeks. But that's because those active ingredients are causing such intense changes in your skin. You know, there's certainly other products where you do basically see more immediate results, and that would include the entire category of hydrating products. If you buy a product that is claiming to increase the hydration levels in your skin, you will absolutely see an immediate impact on your skin. It's kind of funny to me, you know, I took down all of these notes, I wrote down all of my answers, but at the end of this video, I kind of feel like, oh, were those actually good answers, or were they kind of, well, there's a lot of different factors that go into answering these. But I also feel like, oh, now I really understand why you guys ask these questions. It's because they are difficult questions. And I can't even tell you how much that's the reality with skincare. You know, very few of these companies are gonna sit here and tell you, yeah, actually skincare is there's kind of a lot to it. Oh, but there really is. There is a lot going on with your skin, the way it's interacting with these products, the way these products are formulated. But anyway, I deeply hope that this video was helpful for you guys. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.